Welcome to the Explosive Street Podcast with Jared Bidney. On this episode, I'm just going to go over some questions that I got through email and some shit that I found in the trash can. But first, I'll let you know that the online store is starting to happen. I've got a shirt posted, a water bottle. Going to try to add some more logos. I really want it to be customized to where you can go in and you can choose your logo color with your shirt. So I've got several different logos. I got the American flag logo, I got a breast cancer logo, I got a white, blue, black, and gray logo that you put on shirts. Also, I've got sayings of shut up and work and what the freak. Those can also go, but I'm having a hard time because I gotta do all this crap myself. So sometimes my time's limited to try to figure this stuff out. So anyway, just trying to get it on there to where you could pick your logo and your shirt without having to have a whole lot of inventory. That way you customize it, I make it, then it gets shipped to you, to your liking. So anyway, that's starting to happen. So by the time this episode comes out, you should see some of that online. Just go to explosivemechanics.com and go to the store. So anyway, let's go with this first question. It comes from Michael Smith. Hey, I was wondering, how do you manage your training load from workout to workout, week to week, and month to month? I've read all the books and I understand the methods, but when I'm not operating within the structure of the conjugate system, weekly rotating max effort exercises, wave periodization, max effort and dynamic effort days, large volume of single joint exercises, I don't understand how to properly plan volume intensity. Do you do just 5 by 5 on squat days at 0.6 meters per second and try to progressively overload it, or do you have a long-term plan? We always don't do 5 sets of 5 on our squat. That's the 5 sets of 5 is just the hardest day that we do. I do overload it, kind of a wave up and down in a 5% method type fashion, to where if, like I had a kid the other day, let's see if I brought his folder over here. I was going to go through that later, but anyway, let's see if I can find or figure out where he moved these weights. The thing that I do here that a lot of people do not do is I have detailed notes in their folder that they wrote back to me. So I told a kid, if you want to get better, the fastest way to get better is take better notes. So for instance, I'll give them a set like this guy had on his squat down here. He had 365 for 4, 395 for 3, then 395, 2 sets of 4. And so then by waving, so we're not sets of 5, sets of 5, we're not all 4 sets of 3. I'm waving and jumping around in a fashion to where I can see if they're getting the reps, I know that they can handle plus or minus 2 reps based off of what I gave them. So 3, if they're getting those 3, I can go up 5% and then go down to 1s, but we don't hardly ever do 1s. We wave 3 to 5, sometimes 4, like I just read you there. And I'll be able to figure out where they go. But the better they take notes, the faster I'll be able to figure out exactly where they are. So he had a set of 3, 2 sets of 4, and whatever over here. But then I gave him 5 sets of 5 of 395. That was on the 16th. I gave him the 4, 3, 4, 4 on the 16th. Then on the 23rd, I gave him 5 sets of 5 at that same weight, just to see what would happen. I didn't have him measure on the tendo units on some of these days, just because I was trying to really figure out. I was trying not to kill him because he's learned how to be explosive and explode against the bar. And that's good. And sometimes that's bad, because once you become explosive, you always want to maintain it, but it's much more taxing on the body than what it needs to be. So I'm trying to figure out, oh, here we go. On the 12th, he moved 395 for 3. His fastest speed at that was a 0.53. That was on the 12th. Well, here on the 16th, when I gave him that set of 3 and 2 sets of 4 with the same weight, I did not have him write down the speeds because I didn't want him to tax. And so 395.53 on the 12th. 16th, I gave him something else. Then on the 23rd, I gave him 5 sets of 5 at the same weight. And I told him on his first 4 sets of 5, do not record your speed. But on the last set, let's try to get 2 6s, 2 5s, and I don't give a shit what your last speed number is. And so his fastest at 395 on that day was a 0.64. So from the 12th, he went from a 0.53 to a 0.64 from the 12th through the 23rd. But he's had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 squat sessions in between the 12th and the 23rd. And I'm gonna go over some programming later from which I found some shit in the trash can that it's kind of aggravating because it just is, because I don't understand the freaking thought process behind some of these people. Where in the hell they get these numbers and just make up shit as they go? You have to have a logical, basically scientific based backing knowledge to figure out how to go from point A to point B. And so I just explained 5%, I'll wave up 5%, but I'm trying to figure out these speeds. Okay, so I got this guy to go from a 5.3 to a 6.4, whatever, but that's kind of figure out how to overload the system. Sometimes one workout may feel bad, but you got good numbers. You know, that's why I don't like the RPE scale and all that shit. Some people don't even know how to push. So anyway, and that's another thing we're gonna get into later about benching and things like that. You have to maximally accelerate the freaking bar in order to get a better neural response. So let me see if I can answer this question without getting too sidetracked. Not operating within structure. Well, you need a structure. You don't have to necessarily rotating max effort exercises, weight periodization, max effort, dynamic effort days, large volume, single joint exercises. I don't understand how to properly plan volume and intensity. You can probably get up to 80, 90%. That's kind of a tricky question because I don't know. I mean, there's not really a proper plan for that. It's just, and we just don't do the 5 sets of 5 on squat at 0.6. 0.6 is what we're trying to get, like this kid over here did. He did a 0.64. I wanted him to get 2. He did a 6.4, a 6.0, a 5, a 4, and a 3. I wanted 2 6s, a 5, 4, and a 3. But if you don't have a tendo unit, your speed as far as measuring how to wave up and down in a 5% fashion is really going to be much harder because you don't really know, and you can't really base it off of how you feel. Because like I said a while ago, just because you feel good don't mean, I mean, you could feel good one day and have crap speed numbers versus whatever measuring device you're using, or you can come in and feel good and have crap numbers, or you can feel like shit and have excellent numbers, and it just don't make any sense. That's why I hate the RPE scale, because it's a rate of perceived exertion. If you're just basing stuff off how you feel, you're leaving a lot of stuff in the tank. Some of these kids, like I had a kid over here squatting the other day. He had, I know it sounds like we do sets of 5 all the time, but those are, I'm just telling you the hardest freaking days when we're doing our sets of 5. His first set, 4 out of 5. 4 out of 5 on the second set. He may have had 4 sets of 5, not 5 sets of 5. He had 4 out of 5, 4 out of 5, 4 out of 5. And the last set, he did all 5 reps out of 5. That's because he was trying to, I said it's not about the speed of the set, it's about the speed of the rep. So he would go up. As soon as he got to the top, he was right back down. As soon as he got up to the top, he was right back down. And I explained this to him. I said, it's kind of like this. If I was going to throw a punch and hit you with a punch, and I were to just, my first punch is going to be the hardest because I've got more energy stored up, boom. But if I just keep going boom, 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 if I was measuring my power, my numbers would drop. So what I told him, I said, when you get to the top, take a couple breaths, breathe in and out, focus on the next rep. Go down and up, take a couple breaths, breathe in and out, focus on the next rep. Not just try to knock the freaking set out. And so I said, now once you get to this point, when he was younger, he would just try to come in and knock it out and be like a workout, just try to, oh, I gotta get this over with. Now he's getting strong enough to a point to where he's gonna have to have longer rest. He actually came to me and said, Jared, I think I was giving the group based off that hour, maybe 3.5, 4 minutes between sets, and it was killing him. And he said, Jared, I need more rest. And I said, okay, now you can let, based off who's in there, if he was one of the stronger athletes, I'll give him a stopwatch. All right, now let's go to 5 minutes rest. But then you got to think about what you're doing. So years ago, we just kind of try to come in and knock it out. It's not a workout, people. It's a training session. We're trying to get measured results over and over again. And some of the parents that have had their kids in here for a long time have actually watched me coach this kid, and I asked them if they could tell the difference. They said no, they just know they got his reps. I'm like, gee, you know, so even when you are in here and you've had people come here for a while, you may not even see exactly what I'm doing, although you are seeing it, but you don't understand it. So how to properly worry about volume and intensity, I think that's overrated. I think you got to go in and you got to have a designated plan as far as a set and rep scheme that kind of works for you, and base that off. If you got a 10 unit, you can base it off. If you're hitting sixes, you know you can go up, you can go down to fives, or if you're hitting, I don't like it much higher than six. Although sometimes this kid will be in here with the oh shit, he had 355, and this is 5 sets of 4, not 5 sets of 5. He had a 7.0, 7.1, 6.8, and his top speed of his last set was a 0.51. So the previous sets beat him up. His rest was probably not that long, and so it's like when these kids are writing in these folders, they're actually, by writing the numbers in a certain pattern, are actually writing me a sentence, although it's in numbers. It's actually means something to me when I see these numbers. And if people are not keeping track of numbers like this, and you're just kind of making up workouts as you go from point A to point B, you'll never overload. You'll never get from point A to point B. And you'll always struggle because you have to have notes. It ain't just coming here and make up shit as we go. It's actually training. And this kid over here works out at high school. He's 6'6", 280. And so a good sized kid, great work ethic. So I sent his huddle film to a collegiate coach at the Division I level, ACC. So it's higher level, it's an ACC, SEC level. So anyway, I sent this coach, this kid's film, and he said, Jared, I like his intensity and I like his aggressive play, but he's weak in the upper body. And I said, how the hell could you tell that just from the film? I said, that's nuts. And so I maxed him out. His bench max was 250. I said, oh shit, we got some work to do. But, you know, he said, well, he'd probably be a developmental guy for us for maybe 2 years. So I said, well, you know, he's only a junior, so I can take care of the strength, so I'll get his strength up. But that's the thing about going to high school. Some of these parents want to, hey, Jared, my kid's going to work out at high school. He's got weight training. He's not going to come to Explosive. Yeah, that's fine. I don't really say anything because there's nothing I can do about it anyway. But that's the deal right there. They're being held back. Most of the time, a teacher at school or a high school strength coach, not all of them, majority of them, they go to school to be a teacher. They don't go to school. They don't go to school to do what I do. They don't go to school and have an exercise science degree. And the thing is I make my living based off results and trying to show folders with numbers in the back so that we have proper overload to where when I test their 40-yard dash, you got a kid that goes from a 5.4 to a 4.6. That's hardcore numbers. And in the back of their folders, this kid went from a 5.1 to a 5.0 to a 4.9 to a 4.8. That's month, January, February, March, and April. That's concrete numbers in the back. I mean, people think it's ludicrous to freaking even test the 40s every month. Well, I'm trying to make sure the volume and intensities or whatever that I'm giving these kids, all I care about is their strength speed going up. You know, if you go from a 315 at 0.6 to a 405 at a 0.6, and I don't understand why about that 0.6, and there's some other stuff I don't understand later, and we're going to talk about the high bar squat versus low bar squat, is I'm chasing these numbers and trying to progressively overload that in a fashion to where the kids can understand and they can start to understand fighting against resistance at a certain rate of speed. So get off this kid that goes to high school. He's a junior, benching 250, not even his freaking body weight. So if you're going to high school, I don't think that's going to help. As you see, that's pathetic. You have, if that's going to be a weakness and he's going to be a developmental guy for 2 years at the next level, why not go ahead and take care of the strength so that the kid does not want to go to college and sit there for 2 years. Most of them want to go in to play immediately. Sometimes they know they may have to wait a year to play, or you got a kid going in there early this year. I had a kid leave and go to spring early this semester to try to get a jump on things. But the kid's a 365 bencher, 36-inch vertical jumper, and he's a defensive end. Speed and strength will kill you at the next level. So if you don't have it, you need to find out and figure out how to get it. And just because you go work out don't mean you get stronger. A lot of people listen to this podcast realize that how to get strong, and you know that's the thing that takes a little time to learn, and it's taken me years. And I get my business based off of my results. Although I do have people come in and the parents will watch, they don't understand, they don't see the value in it because I see them lifting weights. They think they can go lift weights in the garage. Yeah, but there's a systematic way to overload the body in order to get results quicker. To make sure, that's why I go to these freaking powerlifting competitions. We go to powerlifting competitions, and our high school athletes beat grown men, just like that little girl squatting double body weight at 9 years old. It's you're paying for results, and you're paying for your kid to be better than someone else. If you're behind, we can pass you. I had two kids one time in high school that were both benching 205. Well, 4 months later, one benched 315, the other one benched 215. Well, when the hell are you going? What are you doing? Well, they were both working out at high school. The only separating factor is one was coming here, one was not. So, long-term plan, do I have a long-term plan for Michael Smith? I get these kids from month to month. So I'm trying to progressively get them better month per month so I can get my speed results in the back. I don't really measure their bench press every month. I don't really measure their squat every month. I just know how to overload it. Sometimes I can get a kid to bench their bench max within 3 weeks, whatever their max was, I can get them to bench their bench max 3 reps. So if I know how long a kid's come here, I may set their plan up totally different. But I'll get kids that come in here. Everything's month to month here. I don't have freaking contracts, so I don't try to trap people in. I hate that crap, and that's just not me, and that's just not the gym. So I get a month, but if I do know, hey, Jared, I've had some people come over here from Germany to train with me. Jared, you got them for 6 months. Okay, well, their plan's going to be a little bit different because now I know exactly how long we're going to have them, and I can approach my training at a different rate and different progress. But then if a kid's here long enough and I see this kid keep coming over and over and over, I try to get them to a level to where, like these two over here, Jared, this don't feel right today. What do we do with this? And things, we're talking, we're communicating. I become more of a consultant. They do the work, I consult. We talk about what we consulted and figure out how to get from point A to point B. Okay. So Michael, hopefully I answered that question. I know I'm all over the place, but we just do not do 5.6 meters per second like that kid had. That one day he was hitting, this one kid's different. He did a set of 4, a set of 3, and 2 sets of 4. He did 5 sets of 4, he did 5 sets of 5, he did 3 sets of 3 at the same weight. Then I overloaded him at 395 to 415. And then once I overloaded 415, we came back down to sets of 5. Sometimes we have to go up to come down. And so it's basically waving around 5% for 100-pound kids. 5 pounds, 200s, 10, 315s, 15. So you can kind of mess around with that. Like the other day I benched, I did 285 for 4. I did 300, 2 sets of 3, then I did 324 set of 3. When it could have been 315, but I jumped to 320, just a little over, and I usually don't go off of what I have planned in my head because that's usually how I get hurt. Last week I worked up to 315, Paul's squat. I hit a 5.8 this week. I hit a 6.1, or no, I hit a 6.5, then a 6.1. So I got 2 6s, and I didn't get a 6 at all last week. But for my squat, I'm not trying to progressively overload it like I do with my bench because I get in freaking trouble. I'll inflame my IT bands. I do a lot of Paul's squatting, and I personally don't box squat a whole lot myself. And if you do not have boxes or to do box squats with, Paul squatting will help you a whole lot. But you got to I Paul squat with a safety squat bar, and then trying to hit certain numbers on the Tendo unit. So my best, I'm not back. I just started squatting back for the first time since the summer. My best is 0.81 at a Paul's 315 safety squat bar. I've got 3 plates on each side, 315 to me. The bar is actually 60 pounds, so it's actually 330. So when I talk numbers, it's just whatever it is. So, hey Jared, thanks for all the great content. I hear people say this person is strong for their speed, but slow. or this person lifts more explosive. As a way to test this, do you guys use a dynamic effort with bands, etc.? Nick Riviera. Nick, I hear people say this person is strong for their speed. If they're strong for their speed, they're going to be fast. Or this person lifts more explosive. The only way to figure out how a person lifts more explosive is to measure the bar speed. Hopefully Nintendo will let me start selling some of their products on my site eventually. But you have to measure, okay, usually I can move 80% of my squat at 0.63 to 0.71 range. When I had a kid, he came in here and maxed out at 285, and he was only doing 185, maybe 190 at the same range that I would be, and I think that was maybe 70% for him. So that's a difference, or maybe even 65% for him. I didn't write those numbers down to do the calculations, but he was about 15% slower in weight than I was. I do have Ben Baggett, who went to Stanford University, pitcher. He's got a high natural rate of force development. So I think if you got a higher natural rate of force development, you can generate force. My squat, proportional to my body weight, is not that good, but I have great acceleration. Now you got some people that are strong proportional more than I am to their body weight, but they lack speed and explosiveness. So that person needs to work on learning how to generate power, like that kid that was only squatting 185 to 190 versus his 285 max. Usually at 285, you need to be starting your squat at 235 plus. Moving 235 at a 0.4, I said, how the hell did you do that? So I said, look, there's no point in you working here, coming here, grinding on your squats, because you got that slow strength. We got to figure out how to get you to learn how to move that bar much quicker. And it couldn't just be how they place the pressure with their feet. Like I had a dad in here last week. He started squatting. He was squatting 225 on the stage squat bar. He was trying to squat with me. And he was hitting 0.4s with the Tendo unit. And I was watching this form, and I changed a few things, and by the end of the day, he had a 0.63 just by working on this form. So, I mean, there's sometimes, that's why I don't like to do online training. I don't even call myself an online coach. I do online training for people that have been here before, because I can kind of communicate with them. They know and kind of understand my thought process. So I do online training for them, but if I do online training, I want to be able to at least put my hands on you, talk to you, communicate with you, so that you can understand me and I can understand you. And usually for that, I like people to have been here before. So dynamic effort day with bands? No, we do not. We just use straight weight. Dynamic effort day does not necessarily have to be speed squats. It could be pause squats. When you're doing a static dynamic method, you are just trying to manipulate the nervous system or trick the nervous system into firing harder. So by the time you go down and do a pause squat like I do with safety, it's just kind of like a box squat. So you don't have to have it in a box. So there's no excuse not to do a dynamic. You don't have to have a box to do box squats. Like I worked up the sets of 2 the other day. But I'm just looking at my speed and trying to figure out where I'm going to go. But for most of my people, we don't even do speed squats at all. We do dumbbell jumps. We'll pick a weight, we'll wave that weight, wave the next weight, wave the next weight, look at our numbers, monitor, come in, try to beat our numbers. Had these 2 softball girls that just started the other day. After 1 jump with the dumbbells, one girl beat her jump, then without the weight, she beat her without weighted jump, so she was done. But her friend beat her dumbbell jump on the first one, then it took her a while to beat her non-weighted jump. Then we move on to the next thing. So, well, if we're gonna do dynamic effort like that with our jumps, you have to jump. You have to, like the people who had that slow strength, like that one kid was moving 85 to 190 and his max is 285, couldn't freaking jump. Couldn't even, I don't even think he even got an 18 with 30s in his hand. So usually they lack rate of force development. So if you have to work on some type of rate of force development exercise. Like a lot of these people want to do freaking power cleans all the time. Power cleans is rate of force development exercise, but it's not as dynamic as jumps, because when you're actually jumping's more dynamic than power cleans because you're leaving the ground. With a power clean, you still have to have some type of control fashion to control the weight. And a lot of times when I see these high school kids come in from high school and do their power clean technique, their hips and their knees and their ankles do not extend. When if you look at them from jump, that triple extension that they talk about for explosive power, usually all three of those, the knees, the ankles, and the hips extend at the same time. Usually if you look at a high school kid, they don't even extend their hips because they're too worried about getting under the freaking bar. Well, where's your hip extension power? So if you look at the kid who leaves the ground with a dumbbell jump, so if they jump off the ground with the dumbbells, to get off the ground, you have to extend your ankle, your knees extend, and your hips come through and they extend as well. So jumping's more dynamic than power cleans. So that's how we get better results, and we don't have to do power cleans to become more explosive. Most of my people out jump, people go to high school, power clean all the freaking time, but they can't come in here and jump. So I don't understand why waste your freaking time doing power cleans. So anyway, Nick, hopefully that answered your question. Jordan, I'm a fan of your work. I follow you on Instagram, listen to you most episodes of your podcast, educational and enjoy to watch. Solid work. I have a 16-year-old sister who sprints 100, 200 meters. Okay, so she better be strong. She's 5'2", 125, has amazing turnover speed, but her start and acceleration is lacking. I have a month to train her before season begins. She isn't doing any running as a means of recovery from a toe fracture from soccer season. Okay, soccer and acceleration. She's solid form on all lifts and by your weight room. What are some keys to guarantee improvement in explosiveness? They overrun them in soccer, so the extra running they're due is going to be taking away some of her explosiveness. Her start and acceleration is lacking, so that means she's lacking total absolute strength. How can I train her without aggravating her fracture? I don't know. I'd have that's something that I would want to see someone with. I've had people come in here with boots on and for their ankles and stuff that's been hurt with their ankle. Toe fracture, I'd be curious. I'd like to play with someone like that. Squat. See, if she can squat, try to squat her with her freaking hurt toe. I mean, that I'm not scared to get hurt. I had a girl in here crying the other day. She didn't know what to do on her squat, and I said, I got aggravated. I said, you're never going to get better if you're freaking scared to get hurt. Bottom line, like Louis says, if you're not willing to do this, you shouldn't be doing this. You know, just like when I blew off my freaking elbow, I went to a powerlifting competition. My wife did not go with me. I said, look, I'm either gonna get my damn weight or I'm gonna blow off my elbow. Guess what? We're like freaking Humpty Dumpty. We can get put back together again. You know what? You know what? Half the art of this crap is figuring out how to recover after you done screwed yourself up to help someone else prevent that. But you know what? It is what it is. Aggravating her fracture. Squat her, see if it hurts her. See what happens. And it may not be the world's best advice, but keys to improving sprinters in the weight room. Box squat. Most of the people in here that improve their 40s, like these guys here, 1/10 of a second per month, usually box squat. If she's short, you said 5'2", she may have to pause squat. Like I had some girls in here the other day, some of them had better form pause squatting than they did going up and down. If you go down, especially for start and acceleration, I'd pause squat the crap out of her. But I wouldn't do anything over 5 reps. You know, these kids, one of them messaged me the other day, they went to college, they did 6 sets of 12 on squat. And I said, what kind of retarded shit is that? Who does that? You're a college athlete, you're not a freaking bodybuilder. I mean, that's where the difference between be like high school, going to high school versus coming here. You're still squatting, but the way you're squatting, the systematic reps and sets and the speeds and stuff that you're monitoring becomes different. Although it looks the same, it's totally different. The lower you go when you squat, so the difference in the pressure of your knee when you are, and I don't like the term parallel, when we squat, our inguinal fold, the fold of the hip, and your thigh up here at the top, when it's below the top of the knees when you stand up. Not the top of the thigh parallel, not the bottom of the thigh parallel. There's too many freaking variations. Those are international standards for depth. So once the fold of the hip gets below the top of the knee, stand up. The lower you go, the more glute activation you have. Well, if you want to be a powerful sprinter, you better have a big butt. The glute helps extend the hip in sprinting. The glute helps extend the hip while jumping. So when you squat low, you're creating compression forces on the knee. When you squat high, you're creating shearing forces on the knee. Probably if you're not watching this on YouTube, if you want to see, but like when your femur's higher than your kneecap, the femur wants to kind of slide forward, which is creating a shear force on the ACL. So when you squat with your hips above the angle that I want, you're creating more ACL stress. You're not activating your glutes. You're just working around and creating some thigh strength. Like this kid the other day, he was wanting to get better at squat, but he was squatting ass high. Just because you squat more weight don't mean you're freaking stronger. It depends on how you squat that weight. Why don't you squat the most weight you can in the hardest fashion possible? Won't you take your ass all the way down and stand all the way up if you want to improve that? So it's like when you go below, when you take the inguinal fold below the top of the kneecap, you're creating compression forces. Well, our knees are designed to handle compression. Like when we run, we jump, those are compression forces. We're not designed to handle shearing forces. That's how these ACL gets blown up, because boom, one bone goes against the other one. When you go down, it opens the knee up and it stands up, and it actually helps, and it can actually help make the knee a lot better. A lot of these kids that have Osgood slaughters, you squat them full range of motion, it gets better. You don't, it's gonna hurt the knee even more. So make sure she squats low if she can. If you screw her toe up before track season gets there, of course she's not gonna be able to run track. So you gotta be careful with that. I would still try to squat her, because I don't know where the toe fracture's at. I don't know anything about her. That's why I would like to see them, but that's going to have to be a judgment call on your part. I don't know anything. If you want to email me again to try to figure out where it's at, if it's further down the toe joint, more toward the toenail, I think it'd be fine. I think it'd be fine anyway. That's something I don't know, and I would like to find out. But I wouldn't steer away from it. But improvement and explosiveness, you have to work on jump exercise. Now, jumping is going to hurt the toe more than squatting will. So, just depends on where the toe fracture's at. Improving sprinters in the weight room, getting freaking stronger. Strong relative to their body weight with the appropriate speeds. I think a lot of people come in here, maybe not necessarily here, outside of here, they just stand up with the bar. If you don't learn how to accelerate the bar, you're leaving a lot of stuff in the tank to get better. Like these kids, like if I tell a kid to come here that's benching, or if they're squatting, work on your bar speed, all of a sudden the lifts get better. And you could have someone squat with a tendo unit, turn it around so that they can't see the number, and have them squat. Sometimes I do that and squat in 0.4. Look, try to accelerate against the bar. Hard. See how fast you can stand up. Damn, it's all of a sudden a 0.6. You know, if they're looking at, film them. If you don't have a tendo unit, film them with a phone. You can time them with a stopwatch. Do something that helps trigger their brain into a thought process that they are learning acceleration. You know, if you want to be fast, you got to train fast. So compensatory acceleration, even if the weight moves slow, like when these kids are moving to 0.5, I even told a kid the other day a 0.28 was good. It just depends on where we are in our training, but the sets of the 0.6 meters per second and the sets of 5 range, that kid got 1 or 2 at 395, 6.4. I'm eventually going to try to get that cleaned up to where we're getting 5 6s in a row, but it does not start with a 6. It starts with maybe a 5, or it starts with a 4.9, 5.3 to 4.9 range. Then we keep waving around that until we're able to, okay, boom, now we got 5% greater than that. So if you're at a 4, you got 5% greater than that. At a point, we get that to a 0.5, this is like, okay, now we just kind of have to wave back and forth, and that's kind of where the training comes in. So anyway, Jordan, I hope I answered your question. She needs to get stronger. If she has Her acceleration is lacking. She is lacking absolute strength. She's got to overcome her own body weight quickly. She's got to overcome her own inertia. So the best thing to do, if she's 125, yeah, why not? 225 squat. 185 squat would help a hell of a lot. When I was at Clayton State training some of the track, had a girl waiting about that. She squat 225 for reps, but yet she was breaking some of the school's records in sprints. Like Colton a couple of years ago, like Zach Seymour, they're moving 405 at a 0.7, but yet they're running a 154 complete laser 10-yard dash. And you know, I tell these numbers all the time about the sprint speeds here are going to be totally different when I see out there. You know, if you say you run a 4.5, if you run a 4.5, you come here and you run a 4.5, I'd probably give you a month free training. Because more likely it's not going to happen if you've never been completely laser timed. I had 2 kids went to Notre Dame. Hey Jared, I run a 4.6, 4.7. Okay, well, guess what? I threw them on complete laser, 5 flat, 5.1. You ain't as fast as you thought. And you know what? Another thing about that stupid stuff is that they did ladder drills a lot. Look, do me and yourself a favor. Film people, hey Jared, we do speed and agility. Well, that's horseshit. The only way to overcome your own body weight is to get freaking stronger and change the direction. If you take your body mass and you accelerate it laterally or forward or whatever, and you want to stop and change direction, agility is the ability to change direction. All right, so if you take your mass and you move at X number of speed to your right or your left or whatever freaking direction you want to go, and if you don't have the proper strength to absorb that moving mass, you're never going to be able to take it and change it the other direction. And when you got these people doing these stupid ladder drills, watch them. Their knees never extend, their hips never extend. But when you got to sprint, your knees and your hips got to freaking extend. And so they're training on that stupid ladder all the time. Footwork, footwork, footwork. You know what the best way to do? Jump over freaking hurdles. Because when you ground contact from that hurdle, the depth of the hurdle jump will help strengthen your ankles, which will help in turn work on your foot ground reaction time, not running through some ladder where your feet only get up 2 or 3 inches. Okay, so anyway, this question comes from Craig. Hey, Craig's actually pretty close, Murfreesboro, Tennessee. I really enjoy listening to your podcast, the information that you share. I was wondering if you could elaborate a little bit more on your dynamic effort lower body days. You mentioned in a previous podcast that you don't quite follow a West Side model of squatting, then deadlifting. Could you explain your model a little further? Thank you for your time and attention. Craig, like I said, we usually will start with our jumps. Then we'll move to our squat. We do deadlift, but we don't push the deadlift. Like if I'm a 600-pound deadlifter, I may do 3. I just want to create tension on the lower back because deadlift will help improve your squat, while squat will not necessarily help improve your deadlift. But I want to touch on it. I don't want to push the deadlift. I don't want to come in here and maximize my deadlift all the time. I just want to deadlift for reps and volume. Even if I'm deadlift 600, like I did 315, 3 sets of 8. After I went squatted, I did front squats for my repetition method after I got my speed numbers. For my safety squat bar, front squat, then deadlifted, then worked my hamstrings, then I worked my abs, then I was done. It depends on if you are a lifter or an athlete. If you are just a lifter, you can work on your dynamic effort day squat. You don't necessarily have to have bands or chains or any type of other. Use methods for the dynamic effort method. It does not necessarily have to be squatting 8 or 10 sets of 2 against bands. And I think Louie and them starting to change some of that, but I'm not talking to him in a while. Dynamic effort days, you got your methods of manipulating the nervous system to become more explosive. And the thing about that is learning how to accelerate the bar. So if you take someone that does not know how to accelerate the bar, you teach them some type of way to accelerate the bar, it will help their strength. Me continuing to accelerate the bar necessarily may not help my strength because my natural rate of force development is a little bit higher than some other people. Just like Dave Tate said, he was more naturally explosive. Sometimes when you have people like that, may not need as much dynamic effort work, but if you're not very explosive, you're probably gonna need some more dynamic effort work. And the way to do the dynamic effort work is either the heavy light, low to release, and static dynamics. So you can do different methods in order to manipulate your system. But it's helpful if you learn how to monitor your speeds, because you'll see. Because sometimes if you're working out and you're coming in and you don't understand, or you don't have a way to monitor your speed, it's kind of like you feel like you're just a hamster running in a wheel. You don't know when the hell you're going. Just running to be running, or squatting just to be squatting. And quite honestly, I'd rather just squat just to be squatting, because when I push myself, that's why after I get my number from my stage squat bar, I came over and I go front squat. I just front squat 4 repetition method. I just do sets of 6, and I'm not pushing it. I'm not trying to move maximum speed. I'm just trying to get some extra volume in. And I'm not even, okay, for example, I did 135, 3 sets of 6. This month I'm gonna do 155, 3 sets of 6 after I squat. Next month I'm doing 185, 3 sets of 6 after squat, and just kind of work slowly up. I'm not trying to go from point A to point B. I'm just trying to be better next year this time than I am at this time. Like I said, we just deadlift. Like I had some kids, I know their deadlift max 275, maybe just do 205, 4 sets of 3, 5 sets of 3, sets of 3. I'm not trying to kill them on their deadlifting. I just want them to deadlift to help strengthen the lower lumbar region, strengthen their upper back, and just by deadlifting, even a little bit is better than nothing, which in turn will help their squat. If I try to take a kid, try to push their deadlift and push their squat at the same time, and I've had some older kids that have tried that, what happens is they will have, I had a kid one time was squatting 405 for 2, couldn't squat 385 for 1 because he was trying to push the deadlift and squat, and I told him you can't do that. And I think that's what, they don't do that at Westside. I don't know. They may go work on speed deadlift. You can do speed deadlifts and working at a certain rate of speed, but you don't necessarily have to come in here and grind. Like I got this one kid, he'll come in, I push the shit out of his squat, and then he'll kind of come in here and want to deadlift heavy. He comes back next day, has a hard time getting squat. Jared, I don't know what the hell happened. It's because you don't freaking listen. And so I think sometimes people just want to go from point A to point B, and they think that you always have to do something. Sometimes I speak about minimum effective dosage. Sometimes I can just come in here, bench, and get some tricep press downs, and my bench will go up. But I am trying to work on something different with my bench. My warm-up is, I'll come in, I'll do the hundreds. First thing I do, I don't do no mobility stuff. I don't do all that freaking stuff on Instagram. I think we're getting so flooded with so many people doing so many different things, when it's the same thing over and over that's going to get you better, instead of all this constant change like they freaking press on TV, P9X, change your workouts, change this, do this, hey, do this. And I'm about to get over there with this, and we're going to talk about that. If you want to bench, you got to bench more. To bench more, you have to bench more. I heard some famous strength coach say, to squat more, you got to squat more. Look at those Olympic lifters. Squat all the freaking time. Don't come in here, and I'll get over this in a minute. Pull this over here, and we'll go over that. You don't have to push the deadlift. It's the thing I'm trying to say. It depends on what you do, And some people bench one day and deadlift the next, squat the next, and it's kind of all screwed up. I like to bench and do all my bench stuff in one day. And when I talk about that, I may bench. I may do some dumbbell work after. Well, I don't do that after. Here's my warm-up. I come in here, first thing I do, I grab the 100-pound dumbbells. I do a set of 20. I go to my bench. I put 135 on there. I do that 20 times. After that, I go to 225. I do 225 10 times. After that, I go to 275. I do 275 2. That's my warm-up. 52 reps. 50 reps. And I may do that. I do that Monday, Thursday, and Saturday. Saturday, sometimes I may bench with my desired sets and reps, and some days I do not. I have not decided what I'm going to do tomorrow yet. But just by doing my warm-ups, even if I don't do the 275 for 2, even if I just go to 100s for a set of 20, 135 for 20, and a 225 for 10, that's 50 reps. That's 50 reps 3 times a week. That's 600 reps a month in just warm-up reps. I do more reps probably warming up than most people do in a workout. So once I get there, then I start my sets. After I did that the other day, I warmed up 275 for 2. Then my first set was a set of 4 at 285, medium to close grip, double chain on each side, a set of 4. Then I went to 300. I did that 2 sets of 3. And then I went to 320 and then did that a set of 3. So you got 9. I did 13 reps after I warmed up, but my warm up was straight weight. When I bench, all the time when I do bench, I've got 2 chains per side. So, and I'm just trying to make my lockout harder. It's all triceps. I'm freaking hydraulic jacks his arms. So that's what I'm trying to do. All right. So Michael, Nick, Jordan, Greg, hopefully I answered your questions. If not, feel free to email me again. I just get going down rabbit holes after I get a thought, because I'm sitting here doing this podcast, I'm looking out in the gym and these different things flash into my head. So hopefully I'll be doing these from my house, trying to do a podcast room in my house. So I don't have to come to the gym on these Fridays and do this. I'd just rather be at home, get this over with, and be done. Although I do like doing it. So anyway, let's go over this. I can't figure out the thought process of some of these people. All right, this kid right here, this is the shit I found in the trash can next door in a 24-hour gym. So the kid wouldn't even come in here. And so I said, ooh, my chance to see what other people do, because I don't really study other people. I try to study the people that I have and try to understand what is right, what is wrong. High bar versus low bar squat. I may be talking about that. I'm gonna do another podcast tomorrow on Saturday so I can get some more information out there. But it will be tomorrow. I'll talk about the difference between high, because I had a conversation with, well, shit, I'll save that for later. Anyway, let's get to this freaking guy right here. All right, he had a 275 squat. This is what I found that whole 4-week thing in the trash can. It was like finding gold in the trash. Because now Jared can see. Now Jared can criticize. And this is kind of what I like. If you want to send me some stuff, I'll be able to tell, what the hell are you thinking? All right, this guy, 4 workouts per week. Workout 1, he would squat and bench in the same day. Well, number 1, Jared wouldn't be doing that shit, because after I squat, I'm too damn tired to bench, and after I bench, I'm too damn tired to squat, so I'm not going to give any effort. One of them's going to be lacking effort. So anyway, workout 1, squat and bench. Workout 2, box squat and accessory work with belt squat. Workout 3, close grip bench and deadlift. So workout 1 was squat, bench. Workout 2 was close grip bench and deadlift. And workout 4 was safety bar, box squat. Jeez. So we're squatting, we're box squatting, and we're safety squat bar. So 3 days a week's not bad, because I would squat 3 days a week. But why in the hell would you squat, box squat, and then safety bar squat? You got to pick one, and hopefully this answer helps. You got to pick one and you got to drive it. So maybe month 1, you want to squat and you want to stay on the same freaking bar. You know, to change your squat, you got to change your squat, but if you change too damn often, you'll go nowhere. And so I think that's what's happening here, and that's what like some of these other people are saying over here. Squat, box squat, safety bar, box squat. Well, those are all 3, and this, not a high level squatter, you're talking about someone who squats 275. And so it's like, okay, well, you're not strong enough to switch that often. If you were strong enough, you probably could switch that often, but 275, maybe you need to graduate before you try to change something different. So I see that and I'm thinking, what the hell, why are they thinking that? You know, it's just kind of like if I was in school and I were to give you a problem today, a problem next day, and a problem next day, you're going to forget what the hell you did on Monday by the time Friday got there. The next week, if I gave you something different, because the sets and reps change. So you got to think, it's kind of like you need to pick one and then switch it the next month. At least get 12 workouts out of that one thing, then switch. Some people say 6, I think 12, but I monitor a lot more than most people, take a lot more notes than most people. I don't come in here and go off of a limb. I don't do workouts of the day. We train. And a lot of training is doing the same shit over and over and over again, and it may be boring, but that's what gets results. So we'll go over that tomorrow. All right, now let's look at this kid's bench. Remember what I said earlier, to bench a lot, you have to bench a lot. Well, he benches once a freaking week, and the other time of the week, he does close grip bench. And the main accessory work is dips. So I didn't see any dumbbell work or anything else. And that's like, how are you going to come in here and bench one day, the next day you close grip, next day? And the sad part about that is bench twice a week. One day's regular bench, one day's close grip bench. Then on the fourth week, let's go over these sets and reps. He went first bench time. Let's go week 1. Bench, did 4 sets of 5 at 200 at 275. It was a 250 bencher. It was 275 squatter. Well, the weight's about right. Probably 205 to 210 is what I would use. But he did 200, 4 sets of 5. Then he did 210 for 2 sets of 3, which I think is an awful lot of damn reps right there in one day to start off the week. Then the next time he comes in, he does, and I don't have the weights, did not write the weights down for this close grip bench. He did 1 set of 12, then 3 sets of 8. Okay. And then, so it was, I don't just say it's a Monday. Mondays, next time he comes in, he benches 205, 2 sets of 5, and then 210, 4 sets of 3. Well, if you wanted to do 205 for a set of 4, they wanted to do 210. That's too damn close. That's not even 5%. If I was going to go 205, I'd go 215 the next set. And so the first day the first week bench, he went from 200 to 210. That's fine, but why not do 200 a set of 4, then do 210, 4 sets of 3, and figure out if you're making these reps miss or not. And then your next bench workout, based off of that first week, the second week, you can see, okay, I hope I don't lose everybody. I wish I had a freaking thing to where I can write on a whiteboard so you can see exactly what's going on. But this is exactly what I would do. Week 1, he did 4 sets of 5 at 200 and 2 sets of 3 at 210. Freak no, I would do a set of 4 at 200 as my last kind of warm-up set, prepping into what you're going to go. Then I would do 210, 4 sets of 3. And if I got 3, 3, 3, and 3 on that 210, the next week when I came in, I would still probably do 200 for the first set of 4. And then this guy did 210 for 4 sets of 3 when I would have done that week 1 to figure out, see if my numbers are falling off or not. And then if I would have made all 3s week 1, week 2, I probably would have done 3 sets of 3 at 210, then went to 220, 5%, and see if I got another set of 3. And if I did 3, then I would probably come down 5% and maybe try to get some 5s out of whatever I did with the 3. If you go up and you're able to get 5% more for 3, then you can go down probably 5% and get a shot at getting it 2 more reps. So usually 5% can help out plus or minus 2 reps. And if you're getting 4s, you may need to rest longer. I think a lot of people don't take time to rest. That they think they're coming in here for a workout. You're coming here to get freaking stronger, and you're not going to get stronger with short rest breaks. Not going to happen. I don't give who you are. And you, well, I think I'll just do this workout. I think I'll just do that. Not going to happen. And see, and so he's only had bench 1. So then the next week he did. I would have already progressed and passed this character. He did 3 sets of 3 at 210. Well, shit, I would have done that workout 1. Just like I just told you. And it's like, geez. Then he did 225, 3 sets of 1. On that third week, he did 210, 3 sets of 3, 225, 3 sets of 1. I can't understand what the hell this kid's thought process is. That's more than 5%, and he went down 3 to 1, which is the proper way to go down in reps, but I don't understand the thought process. And why didn't not just do workout 1, workout 2? If you were taking week 1, week 2, and week 3, I would have done those Mondays, Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday, or Monday, Thursday, and Saturday like I would week 1. And on the 4th week, he came in on that Monday. One Monday he did 4 sets of 5, 2 sets of 3. Next Monday he did 2 sets of 5 and 4 sets of 3. I don't freaking understand. Then week 3 he did 3 sets of 3 and then 3 sets of 1. Week 4, the first day he came in, did 3 sets of 5, 175. Then on that Thursday he bench maxed. So you're telling me you're gonna bench max and get stronger after only 4 bench workouts? You see what I'm saying? I don't understand the thought process. I don't understand what people are doing. I don't understand. I don't understand is the whole point. You know, you can't max. And these kids want to come here. Jared, can I max today? Can I max? No, you've not had enough freaking workouts to max. Everybody always wants to come in here and max all the time. You know, max effort and all that shit's fine. You can come in here and you can do a max effort floor press. I got this kid who come in and do a max effort floor press. We may do max effort floor press 2 weeks in a row. Beat a little bit what you did last time. All right, now we'll go incline max effort, maybe up to a 3-rep max. Come in next week, beat that. Beat it by 5 pounds. I don't care as long as you can get better at it. Then the next week we may do a close grip chain bench 2-rep max. And all we're doing is recording all this. But if you want to do your max effort stuff, and after that you go to some type of repeated effort work, and that could be some type of systematic work scheme that you found somewhere, wherever or whatever. Then after you do your repeated effort work, then you start hitting on some of your accessories, your triceps. You know, I am guilty of not working my upper back like I should, but I know it's critical because I'll get some strains in my chest, because my chest now is not my prime mover of my bench press. My prime mover of my bench press are my triceps. My chest acts as a stabilizer. And so with that warm-up routine that I told you, I go from 100-pound dumbbells, 20 reps, to 135 for 20, to 225 for 10, and 275 for 2. It's harder to arch when I do my dumbbell work, and when I do my 135, I'm not trying to get in super bench press arch mode. And when I go to 275, I'm not super arched. I'm still trying to be a little bit more flat back so that I can work my chest a little bit more, so I can develop some more chest musculature, like I said, because that's kind of the repeated effort before I do stuff. So I'm trying to do stuff backwards. I'm trying to be strong tired. And so since I started that, the strains in my chest have gotten a lot better. I don't hurt as much. And the reason I've said this a couple of podcasts ago is that if the muscle size starts lacking, the muscle size and the accessory stuff, the repeated effort methods, the glue that holds you together, well, guess what? I've been adding more glue to my workout. So by adding that in, I've eliminated a lot of stress and some of the pain that I've been experiencing. I felt a lot better than I have before. And now I'm starting to try to do the same thing when my hamstrings, my knees hurt sometimes when I squat, but I neglect my freaking hamstring work. You know, I have a gym, I have 2 gyms, and I'm very busy at points in time to where my workout, I may not even work out because I'm helping the kid. You know what? The kids come first. It ain't about me. I just want to do it to be an example. But you know what? If I miss my workouts, I miss my workouts. You know, I'm not that selfish. I do want the kids to watch me work out sometimes so they can see what's going on. But some things get missed, you know, and I am if I don't do this first, I'm not going to do this, which I need to kind of get out of that mode, because I think just by doing something sometimes is better than doing nothing. But I'm not going to go kill my triceps before I go bench. You know, my bench numbers would be so screwed up, I wouldn't even know how to figure anything out. Like when I first started that warm-up routine, I was doing 315 double chain, 4 sets of 5. And so I said, shit, Jared, you need to take care of your chest. So that's why I came up. I said, and just really started talking, and I was talking shit to some kids one day. I said, look, how many times do you think I can do the hundreds? And they said, 9, 12. I said, you got to be freaking kidding me. I'm better than that. And this other kid said, Jared, you can't get more than 16. I said, shit, look, I'll do 20, and I won't even warm up. That will be my warm up. So they said, no way. You aren't gonna warm up, you're gonna hurt yourself. Well, guess what? I just told y'all earlier, I didn't give a shit about that. I'm not worried about that. All I want to do is move the weight. If I'm worried about getting hurt, I'm leaving some damn money in the bank. You know, I'm not gonna progress. And so what I did, I picked the damn hundreds up, did them 20 times. I probably could have done 25. I got 20, they said 21. No, go to 22. That's where you get in trouble. If you say you're going to do something, do what you say. If I'm going to go 20, I'm going to 20. I'm not going to 21. I'm not maxing out on how many reps I get. I said I can do 20, I'm gonna do 20, I'm gonna sit down. That's where I get in trouble. They'll start pushing me past where I need to go, because I still got to go bench after that. So I did set 20, and then I went and did 135 a couple times, and then I went and did 225 a couple times, and I went monitoring how many times I did that. Then I'd go put my weight on the bar, and I'd get my reps. And so I said, let's just start doing 50 reps. So I'll do, next time I came in, I did the hundreds. I said, okay, this is gonna be my warm-up routine. I'm gonna do these hundreds for 20. I'm going to 135, 20, and 225 for 10. I'm going to go 275 for 2, because usually after that my weights start at 285, 300, 315. And 285, 300, 315 are always with double chain or more. And my first time coming, I was, okay, well, I did that. I did my 52 reps. I had put on 275 with double chain and excite, and I got 3 reps. And the couple days before, I did 285, 5 sets of 4, and I couldn't even get 3 reps of 275. I said, oh shit. And somebody said, that's the first time I've seen Jared miss reps. Usually I'm pretty pinpoint on where I'm at and what I'm doing. And so I did another set. Damn, I got 3 reps. And I was supposed to do 300 for a set of 3 that day. And so I tried, shit, let's put 300 on there, like I was supposed to. 1. I was pissed. I kind of get depressed when I start missing reps and I don't know exactly where I'm at. I get depressed, and it pisses me off, and I don't want to do anything else. And so the next workout came in. That day I missed reps was the first time that I actually counted for my 52 rep warm up. And so the next time I came in, I did the same thing. I was just gonna bench max with double chain, and to try to figure out where I need to be starting at, where I need to go, and I only did 335. I said, oof. 5-6 weeks prior to that, I did 365 double chain. Best ever double chain has been 405 for me. So I'm just trying to get back to where I was before I tore my tricep, because I told my doctor, I'm gonna get back to where I was, plus I'm gonna be better. When I did 405 double chain, each side, I did regular bench grip, my regular bench grips, my pinkies on the rings, but now I'm trying to do medium close, where I call medium close 1 inch of the knurling showing, because I'm trying to make my arms turn into hydraulic jacks. So that's damn, it's like I went backwards, but you know what? Let's see if I can see what happens if I keep doing this over and over again. Well, long story short, yesterday I did 320 for 3. So my strength's already coming back, but my body had to adapt to that warm up. Once it's adapted to that warm up, I do care about my strength, and I do want to be strong, and I need to be an example and be explosive for the gym. But that warm up messed me up for a time period to where now my strength's starting to come back after doing that warm up. So now my body's not even realizing that I guess did it. I don't know. I may one day see what happens if I don't do that. But at least my chest don't hurt anymore. Now when I'm benching, I don't have all these freaking pains. So anyway, that's what I'm doing for myself, and I'm going to go over some more podcast stuff tomorrow. I'm going to do, today's Friday, try to post this today, try to get some more of these podcasts out. So I've been really busy, so hopefully I can quit making excuses and get more shit done. But anyway, I know this has been a long, rambling podcast. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for listening. Email me at info@explosivemechanics. Follow me on Instagram, Explosive Mechanics, Twitter at ExplosiveMEC. Also, go to explosivemechanics.com. I've got shirts on there, and I'll have some more merchandise. Just if you're interested, shut up and work. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Have a good day.